Salutations, viewers. Happy Sunday. It's Ben. Do you like my moustache? Post in the comments. So, I do have to apologise because I'm not actually doing a video about Queen Victoria. I'm doing a video about her uncle, King George IV. This is because I saw a documentary on Wednesday about him and I felt really sorry for him because everyone either doesn't remember him or remembers him for the wrong reasons. So I'm sorry if you're looking forward to a video about Queen Victoria, but I'm actually doing one about her uncle. Ow, that hurt. So, George was born on the 12th of August 1762, and he was the eldest son of George III, or Mad King George, and Queen Charlotte. George technically had two reigns. I'm going to go into a bit of detail about his main one, but what you need to know is that he reigned as regent, so he was king in everything but name, because his dad was still alive, but because his dad had contracted the disease polyphyria in 1811, George became regent until his father's death in 1820. Then, at the age of 58, George became king, and he reigned for 10 years until 1830 when he died. Now, his legacy is that he was fat. That's just reductum ad absurdum, whatever it is. Reduction to absurdity, whatever the posh Latin phrase is for that. This is George, looking resplendent in red and white and blue. As you can see from his fantastic outfit, he was a lover of fashion, bit of a hearty, if you like that sort of guy. But he was also a lover of architecture. This is Brighton Pavilion, Brighton Pavilion. He also designed Buckingham Palace and Balmoral Castle. And his other legacy was for being a bit of a womanizer. So he married a woman called Mrs. Fitzherbert in 1785. However, she was a divorced Catholic, and that wasn't going to go down well with the Protestant church, parliament, country. So his father offered him a deal. If he married a Protestant, his father would pay off all of George's debts. So in the same year, 1785, George married his cousin, Caroline of Brunswick, a German. He hated her a lot. And when his father died and George was coronated in 1821, he banned Caroline from the coronation, which he'd come back to be at because she wanted to claim her place as the Queen of England. She died 3 weeks after the coronation, which he was banned from. So that kind of shows you what happens if the Queen ever banned you from a coronation. But let's get back to his reign, because it's really quite interesting. So in 1820, literally a month after George had come into power, there was something called the Cato Street Conspiracy. Cato Street is a small side road really in London, and a group of men known as the Spencean Philanthropists plotted to kill the entire cabinet and the Prime Minister, people call him Lord Liverpool even though he was actually the Earl of Liverpool. Or you could just call him Robert Jenkinson, 2nd Earl of Liverpool, which is his full title. Anyway, I'm getting off topic. The Cato Street Conspiracy was a radical plot to kill the entire cabinet and the Prime Minister in response to the unfair conditions and treatment of workers. However, a double agent meant that on the 23rd of February 1820, all plotters were arrested. 5 of them, including a John Harrison. Yes, a John Harrison. By the way, that's a Star Trek reference for anyone who doesn't get it. Were spared, and transported to Australia, while the rest were hung and beheaded, just in case the hanging didn't kill you. Well, actually, interestingly, the hanging wouldn't kill you because they killed you until you were nearly dead, then beheaded you, because they were civilized back then, or so they claim. In 1823, the construction of the British Museum began. I personally loved the British Museum. It's one of my favourite places to go in London. I recommend you do if you're ever in London. But the construction on that began in 1823. The year after that, the National Gallery, which is another of my favourite places in London, and the largest art gallery in England, was opened to the public. In 1825, trade unions were legalised. Now, I'm not sure how it works in America, but in Britain, a trade union is a group of people who all do the same job, who form a group and they protest for better wages. So, like a miners' union or a teachers' union. They were finally legalised in 1825, and they would cause a headache for the next 100 and... well, they'll just cause a headache from now on. I'll come back to them in a modern British history video that I'll probably make in about April. In 1829, Robert Peel founded the first Metropolitan Police Force in London. This was the first organised police force in Britain. Rob Peel would also go on to become a Prime Minister twice under Queen Victoria. And one of the biggest things, in 1829, it became legal for a Catholic to become an MP, a Member of Parliament. What had happened before was because the King, Church and Parliament were Protestant, Catholics weren't allowed to sit in Parliament. However, when the voters in County Clare and Ireland voted in a Catholic, because they needed representation, the law was changed so that Catholics could become MPs. So that's George IV, the Regent King. If you want more information or a more light-hearted version of events, I'd say go onto YouTube and search for the George IV Horrible Histories song. It's hilarious. It's BBC, so of course it's going to be great. And so check that out. It's really, really funny. And then check out a couple more videos because Horrible Histories is fantastic. Next week, Avery is going to be joined by her friend Jula, and they'll be discussing season 3 of Sherlock. I'm not going to spoil anything. It's really good. Really, really good. My next video will be on pro-social versus anti-social media. It'll be great if you're doing Psychology AQA, because it'll be right off the course. So hope you can join Avery next week and me the week after. Have a great week, guys. Love you lots. Bye.